So, what college has the smartest students? Obviously, these schools have tremendously bright students. If you're talking about Stanford, Princeton, Yale, Harvard, MIT, Caltech, students at these schools are incredibly bright. Especially you're looking at the Ivy League, UPenn, Dartmouth, Brown, U Chicago. There's a lot of great institutions out there with incredibly smart students. But if I were to pick one university that really has the smartest students, I'd have to go with MIT. The reason for that is the student body at MIT is incredibly technical. So these are people who qualify for the USA Math Olympiad, the USA Physics Olympiad, who did cutting edge research that got them into the Intel Science and Engineering Fair. I would say roughly 40 to 50% or even more of the student body at MIT has math Olympians or cutting edge research scientists. They're just brilliant in every way, shape, or form, especially as it pertains to math, science, and engineering. And each of these subjects has its own Olympiad, right? We've got math, physics, biology, computing, even linguistics, and MIT actively searches for these kids. A school like Stanford, Harvard, or Princeton might actually turn down some kids who qualify for the Math Olympiad. It's not a surefire guarantee into these schools, whereas MIT actually actively and aggressively recruits these types of students. And these types of students, I will say, if you're just purely talking about academics, these types of students also tend to be probably the smartest high school students in the country. And you can also see this on the Putnam competition, which is a math competition for undergraduates. MIT consistently places kids in the top 50 positions on the Putnam exam. It's saturated with MIT kids. It doesn't mean MIT wins every year. Actually, they don't win every year. Harvard ends up winning a lot of the times, primarily because the Put competition is based on your top 3 participants, and Harvard is excellent at choosing those 3 participants. Also, they're the ones who host the exam, so I do think they have a little bit of advantage there because they probably have some idea the types of questions they ask, and they prep the kids better because the Putnam exam is hosted by Harvard. But at the end of the day, MIT is the school with the smartest students, in my view. Caltech is a close second. If you're looking to go to a rigorous school with a lot of brilliant minds, MIT is it. That's not to say kids at Stanford, Princeton, Harvard, Yale, etc. aren't smart. There's a lot of brilliant kids there too. But if we're purely talking about academics, especially in the STEM fields, which I do think is a better gauge of intellectual ability compared to the humanities, and please don't shoot the messenger for that. I'm just stating my views here. I do think that MIT is the school to go to if you really want to immerse yourself with highly talented kids. If you go to a school like Harvard, there's kids who are really talented in other ways, whether it's leadership, self-initiative, start changing the world, having that entrepreneurial characteristics that will allow them to make a massive impact on the world. Maybe Harvard, Stanford, Princeton might be better for that, right? But if we're strictly talking about just pure academics, then yeah, MIT has probably the smartest students in my view. And this is someone who is a Princeton grad, so I'm just offering my purely unbiased view here. Anyway, if you liked what we talked about today, definitely hit that subscribe button. We'll be sharing more tips and advice on the college admissions process.